For the longest time, I've thought of Olhão as a place populated by crusty old fishermen and dirty and graffiti and not nice at all. But I went there the other day and I just want to let you know what I found. Maybe it's still that crusty old horrible place, or maybe it's not. Let's find out. Hey guys, my name's Nick Robinson and thank you so much for watching my channel. I really appreciate it. I've been here in the Algarve, Portugal for 21 years and I'm making videos all about this incredible spot. I really am. And I love doing it. I really do enjoy it. And I'm trying to help you if you're looking to relocate or if you just want to come here on holiday or something. But now listen, you can see behind me here, I've managed to recreate a little bit of my garage and I'm trying to turn it into like this beachy bar studio thing. And I'm just hopeless, man. I'm just hopeless. If any of you got any interior design skills, please let me know. Get onto algarvealex.com, drop me a line. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how to get this place looking amazing. But anyway, let's get back to Olhão and let's find out whether it still is a scratchy old place or whether it is not. Officially known as Olhão de Restauração, I'll tell you why in the history section. Okay. Now, there's 45,000 inhabitants in the whole concelho, making it the fourth largest council in the Algarve. You can see how it rates amongst all the other councils in the Algarve. It's really easy to get there. It's just 10 minutes drive east of Faro. The EN125 serves it well, running straight through the middle of the city. The Avenida República, like most towns, is the main street. However, not the 125. Okay, so you might think that the 125 is the main street and not go any further, but it's actually not the most prettiest part of Olhão. The Avenida República is good. The train station is conveniently right in the center of town, unlike many other towns in the Algarve, and you can easily head to Faro, Lagos, or even Lisbon, or even Porto if you'd like. I mean, you can be there in 6 hours' time, so if you leave at 7 a.m. in the morning, you can be in Porto just after lunch. The bus stop, or rodoviário, is just south of the train station, so it's also well placed for convenience, and you can just walk to both the train station and the bus station. So, one thing is that there's And look, I've looked this up on a really cool site. It's not very well designed, but it's got tons of amazing information. It's called algarvebus.info. Now, Olhão has two circular urban bus routes, Linhas Amarela, which is the yellow one, and Verde, which is the green one. They start from the bus terminal and they go out to the various suburbs around Olhão. Now, the service operates once every hour on both routes from about 7:15 in the morning until 7:45 on weekdays, and from about 8 o'clock in the morning to 1:30 on Saturdays. There's no service on Saturday afternoons and also no service all day on Sundays and holidays. So you can get around. There is public transport in Olhão. So if you're thinking of going to Olhão and not taking a car or not buying a car, because they're really expensive around here, then you'll be okay. Because the fare on a bus is only €1 for any journey. There are no timetables at the bus stops, but they are available from the bus terminal. Okay. History of Olhão. Now, the oldest written record of Olhão was dated in 1378, and this referenced a settlement called Olhão. I'm saying that I don't know if it was called Olhão or whatever. But it developed due to the protection of a fort which was created nearby. Now, even though officials in Faro discouraged the population settling there, they actually just managed to carry on and grow. But a little bit later, Olhão's greatest claim to fame was starting the process of ejecting the French invaders on the 16th of June, 1808. Now, this actually kicked off a routing of the French from the entire Algarve. And the Olhanenses, or the people from Olhão, had to get word to the Portuguese king, who was in exile in Brazil, saying, hey, listen, we've managed to kick out all the French. So they set off in a boat called a caique, and it was named Bom Sucesso. Now, a replica is moored here in the middle of Olhão today. And as a result of this action, Olhão was declared a town, which was a major step in the evolution of the settlement. So over the years, Olhão has grown due to the fishing industry, and many factories that you can still see around in the industrial area are all originally from the fishing industry, and now obviously the fishing industry isn't as big and the canning industry is not so big anymore, so that they are being taken over by other businesses. But it was awarded a city status in 1985. And fun fact, the current Minister of Finance for Portugal is from Olhão. And P.S. Gustave Eiffel didn't design the market, in case you're wondering. A lot of blogs out there say he did, but it's not the case. Let's just jump back for a minute. I left really early to shoot this video from home, and I left at 6:30 and cruised east along the highway to Olhão. And it was such a stunning morning. It really was beautiful. We just had a few fires in Customer Rings, really hot summer's day, and it was so still, absolutely still. So I arrived in Olhão, moved straight over to the market, and I was, lo and behold, I was surprised to find that some coffee shops were open. So I stopped and had a bica cheia, little coffee espresso full, and just marveled at the peace and quiet around me unfolding as all the fishermen came out and they're having their chorinhos. It's just an amazing scene. So yeah, but just hang on. I'll let you know what I really think of Olhão. Local attractions. Now the main thing with Olhão is fish. Fish, fish and fish. There's fish restaurants, there's a fish market, and there's a festival marisco, which marisco in Portuguese means seafood. So it's not just fish, but it's also octopus and all kinds of shellfish and etc, etc. And that happens every single year in August, and it's quite a blast. You should get down there. Obviously, when this little COVID thing's just gone away, it'd be much easier. They're not having it this year, which is quite sad, because I just spoke to a local in Olhão, and he said, no, not happening. The Pirate Festival as well is also not happening this year, but that's been going for 6 years, and it's actually more of a fun thing than a serious historical happening. Again, this is in August. Now the Rio Formosa is another of the local attractions. We've talked about this, or I've talked about this in a few videos before, and it's this incredible 70-kilometer long lagoon system, which is sheltered by 5 barrier islands, and you can take a ferry out to those islands where there are no cars at all. And there's some idyllic beaches. They really are gorgeous. Just sand and clear blue water. A lot of people think that Culatra, Farol and Ormona are the most amazing places in the world, but I find them a little bit grotty. But the nice thing is that they are super authentic. So it's like, real traditional huts and stuff, and there's some really funky restaurants out there as well. A really cool bar on Farol Island. So do that, check it out, take a ferry over. It's not expensive and doesn't take a long time. It's a great day out, it really is. Now there is a beach actually, it's on the Rio Formosa. It's called, I've always thought it was called Aldeia Marine Beach, but it's also now known as Praia dos Cavacos. And it's a beach in the Rio Formosa, and as a result, it's way better at high tide. So they've put some artificial sand down there, and they've put some walkways and things, and it's actually really lovely to sit there and sun yourself. At low tide though, it's pretty muddy, so just be careful. Try and gauge yourself, get a tide table, and it's easy to get that online. But it's a perfect launching point for a stand-up paddle session over to Ormona Island, which is only about 1 kilometer away. Also, if you want to do kayaking or whatever. So you've got to bring your own kayak with, because there's no facilities on that beach. Okay. All right, let's get into some housing in Olhão. Now, I've just taken some random houses straight off the front page of Idealista in Olhão, and I'll run through them with you, because I don't know how else to do this, because there's just so much to do. So I looked, there's a T1 apartment for 160,000, 89 square meters. There's another T1 for also 160,000 euros at 76 square meters. There's 2 T2 apartments, one for 190,000, 111 square meters, and the other one was going for 169,500 with 114 square meters. I found a semi-detached house, which is a 2-bedroom one, for 285,000 euros. And this is all in the central area of Olhão. Okay. Another semi-detached house with 3 bedrooms for 385,000, and that's a 300 square meters, so that's quite a large house. And then we're getting to do 4-bedroomed smaller houses at 200 square meters for 285,000. And then another 4-bedroom semi-detached house for 368,000 at 205 square meters. So, look, I can go on all day talking about housing in Olhão and just random Idealista things, but it's probably better if you actually jump onto Idealista and go and have a look and gauge for yourself. Finding houses these days is apparently pretty hard. Everyone's complaining that there's not enough houses to buy. All the estate agents are saying we don't have enough houses to sell. So if you find one, good luck, good on you. And let me know if you need help with housing, because I have a whole bunch of real estates that I work with, and that they're great. They really are amazing, and they can help you find your dream home in the Algarve, even though it is difficult. Let's go shopping in Olhão. So now we're starting off on the west. We're actually looking south now through this Google map view, and right on the west-hand side, on the western side or the left-hand side, is Continente. Now, Continente is one of Portugal's favorite supermarkets, and yeah, it's a good place to go and get all your stuff. Just next door to that is Lidl, and Lidl is, yeah, it's much actually more better value than Continente. And then Pingadores, which is just over behind there, actually right in the center. There's two Pingadores in Olhão. Pingadores is a little bit more expensive, but if you want to go to fresh markets, we've already talked about the markets in Olhão. They're big. There's a vegetable, fruit and veg market, and there's a seafood market. So that's the best place to get all your super fresh food. Now, let's not forget the main street, or the Avenida República, where all the main street and the high street shops are. So you can go and find that out down there. It's just a little bit further north. Now there's another Continente, the second Continente, just over here, called Continente Bom Dia, which is a smaller version of the Continente, but still it's their new brand, and they've got one in Sabraj as well. And then just a little bit further north is the Intermarché, which is a chain of, I think they're originally French supermarkets, and you can see the Intermarché over there. Now, Pingadores, another one, is further to the northeast, and it's right over here as you enter Olhão from Tavira side. And then there's Aldi, which is just next door to it as well, which is more cut price, I hope. I've never really measured their prices, but they seem to be more bargain orientated. Now, there's one massive thing that I've left out, and it's Olhão, which is a big supermarket chain, and they are housed in the Algarve outlet, which is a large shopping center right on the 125 as you go through. So this is Olhão's latest shopping mall, and it's a proper mall with cinemas in it and everything. Okay, so medical things. Obviously in Olhão we need to sometimes get things done and keep yourself healthy. So if you speak Portuguese, it's probably best if you go to the local Portuguese Centro de Saúde. Every single town has one, except if it's a really small town, then it'll be like an Extensão de Saúde. And that is just in the northern section on the other side of the 125, behind the shopping center, Centro de Saúde, right over there. So that's where the government hospital is. And then if you just go a little bit further southwest, just basically a block away, it's not so far, there's the Clínico Internacional de Olhão. And that's part of the same group as the hospital in Lourdes, which they really do a great job in Lourdes, Centro Clínico in Armancil, and also a Clínica Internacional in Vila Moura. So those guys are there, and they'll take care of all your medical needs. If you need to go to any other hospitals and things like that, you'll probably have to go to Faro, which is, as I said, not so far away at all. Now we can get into schools quickly. Okay, there are tons of schools in Olhão, but mainly they're government schools. There's one private school, one private international school, and it's actually run by a Portuguese group. It's called Colégio Bernadette Romeira, and I talk a little bit more about that in my international schools video of the Algarve. So where as far as government schools go, they're all over the place. I'll just touch on a couple. There's a secondary school right in the center over here, which it's Dr. Francisco Fernando Lopes. It's interesting the way they name Portuguese schools. They always put like this really long, Escola Básica EB 1, 2, 3, and then they put the full name of the guy behind it who they named after. So it turns out for some very, very long names in Portuguese. And then there's another one by Dr. Alberto Iria, and that's a bit more to the southwest over here. And then there's just lots of schools all around Olhão. Okay, so basically what happens is when you register for education, when you register your child, you'll get allocated a school which is closest to you. And that's how it normally works. So you don't actually get a choice. The only choice you get is where you live, and then that'll dictate what school you're going to go to. Right. So I hope you enjoyed that video about Olhão, and I hope you're wondering what I think of Olhão. I mean, I was really committed to hating Olhão again, and I've avoided it for so long, and all I used to do was drive down right next to the market there and just go and have a fish lunch or something, and it was nice, but it was always busy and scrappy and stuff. And when I spent that time here this morning videoing this video, I just was blown away. It was amazing. I'd live there in a heartbeat. It really is, because it's so close to the Rio Formosa. It's got beautiful old buildings, and it's a really amazing town. It really is an amazing town. So if I was you, I'd go check it out for sure, and really factor it into your moving plans. All right. Thanks for watching again. I really appreciate it. If you need anything, go to algarveaddicts.com and you can sign up to my newsletter and my email list, and I can help you out with all that information. Okay. Stay well, and thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it.
algarveaddicts.com